Alright guys, you know, it's been about a day or two since I made a video. My original plan was one video a day, but that's hasn't been working out. I've been a little busy lately, but yeah, I don't know. I figured I'd make a video on this. I get asked this a lot, not like on YouTube or anything, but in real life, I have a tach or RPM gauge, whatever you want to call it. Some guys call it a tach, some people call it RPM gauge. A lot of guys don't know how you hook them up. Now I'll show you what's under the hood. You get, what comes off the gauge is you got your red, your positive, you got your negative, and you got this green wire, and the green wire runs to your coil. Now, you got to go to your coil, and one side, I don't know if you can see it, see, I'll show you better down here. See, one side, which is not the green wire on the truck actually, but the other wire, which is right here, which I spliced into, pulses. It sends a pulse to the coil, which sends your spark, which your tach or RPM gauge will read. Now, the RPM gauge I got is one of these little ones. I don't know how good you guys are going to be able to see it. It's kind of dark in here, but I'll try my best to show you. It's just one of these little, super tach 2s. It's nothing special here, but like I said, you got the red, black, and green, and then you got your white wire, which is for your light, which is inside here. Now, I've seen a lot of guys, and this isn't the wrong way to do it. I mean, you could do it this way. They will wire the light to a ignition on wire. You turn your truck on or your car or whatever, the light automatically comes on. Now, me, with this thing being a daily driver and all that, I didn't want that. And on these Dodges, it's real easy. All you got to do is you run you can't really see it, but you run your wire down to your fuse panel, which is right over here on the side. You find the one for the dash light, and you just splice into it, and it will turn on with your dash lights. It will dim. Everything will work. If this was like a drag car, which I've built drag cars, and I've wired them, directly to the ignition switch or to its own little toggle switch, or whatever you want. But for a daily driver, like I said, I bought this small one on purpose. I didn't want nothing big. It wasn't for racing or nothing like that, because this thing, which you can't really see, didn't come with a tach from the factory, which every other one of these trucks I see that's the same interior style is they all have the tach built into it. So I don't know why this one doesn't, but it just doesn't. I put this in maybe about 5 years ago. I was having some issues with it idling, and I wasn't sure what the RPMs were when it was idling, but I got it all fixed. But yeah, a lot of guys don't know how to hook them up. So all you got to do is, what I did was I ran my positive and my negative through the door hinge right here, because I didn't want to make a hole in the firewall. And on these Dodges, you have plenty of room here. It's not kinked or nothing like that. It's not rubbing or chafing. And I ran them straight to the battery, because I had to change these anyway. I've had to change them a couple of times, actually, because they're just, these colored ones are junk. They fall apart all the time. I'm surprised this one's lasted as long as it has. But these right here, these regular, just aluminum, I think they're aluminum, these work the best. They don't break. These usually break right here. You're tightening them down, or you'll be driving, and then you get home, you turn it off, and you go somewhere else, and all of a sudden it doesn't work, and you get out, and this thing's all cracked, and the wires are all off and everything. But I do have another one like this for this side, but I'm not going to change it until this one breaks, because why change it if it's not broken? But like I said, see, it's ghetto at the moment. When I hooked this up, I didn't have extra wire to run it the right way, which I'm going to change, because See, as you can see, I have red going to a black wire. I mean black and black. All I had was black, so even the green going underneath, I ran it across the engine, which is not the right way. You should really run it up through here, so it's away from the heat and all that stuff. But, what are you going to do when you ain't got wire and me, I get like a little kid sometimes and I just want to hook stuff up. And like I said, you come over to your tack here, and the way I did it was I did it with a test light. Just, you let the truck run and you kind of just push it into the wire a little bit and you find the one that's pulsing, and that's the one you want to hook it up to. Now that particular tack on the back has a little switch that says 4, 6, or 8. Now this is 6-cylinder, so I switched it to 6, and it seems to be the right RPMs. It doesn't seem to be off or anything like that, which I've heard guys complain about those Super Tack 2s kind of being off a little bit, but those have been on usually when they try to hook them up to like an MSD type system or whatever, which I don't know if there's a conflict or not or whatever, but I haven't had any trouble with it. But yeah, that was about it. I get asked that a lot. I don't know why. I remember I used to not know how to do it, and some old timer showed me. I had a Camaro, I had an '83 Camaro, and anybody that has any of them third gen Camaros know the original tacks that came in them cars like almost never work after 100,000 miles or so. And I was putting the tack in and I couldn't figure it out, and he helped me out with it and explained it to me, and now I'm explaining it to you guys. But yeah, I'll just be doing videos of stuff I get asked about or stuff I'm gonna do, or like I mentioned before, I'm gonna be working on probably this weekend sometime a 2005 Focus, which if any of you have a '05 Focus with the 2.0, they have this problem a lot. It's you'll be driving and you come to a stop and the car will just die, and you get your check engine light and you get it red, and it says bank 1 lean, and a lot of guys jump to the conclusion it's a O2 sensor, but I do have a scan tool, so I scanned it and the sensor was working fine. So then I knew it was a vacuum leak, so I did some research online, found out this little itty-bitty freaking hose. It's a PCV hose. It runs on the back of the intake manifold. You can barely see it. And, yeah, you're technically supposed to take the whole manifold off to change this, but I'm just going to take the bolts off and slide it forward and change this. Now, the way I figured out that this hose was for sure the problem was, you could take a carb cleaner or starting fluid or brake cleaner, whatever you want. And while the car's running, you spray the hose. Now I sprayed it, I started at this end, and I went over and over and over, and I got to right here. Boom, the car died. So I started it back up, and I shot it right back in the same spot. Car died. So there's a hole. The only thing that sucks is the only place you can get these is the dealer, and they are $50 for this little hunk of junk. And I thought that I could maybe use a regular hose, but once I looked at it, I have all data. Once I looked at it online on all data, and I saw what it looked like, I figured out there's no way I was going to fit a regular hose there. And obviously Ford knows there's a problem because, see, it has this little sleeve on it, which the original doesn't. I don't know if it's really going to do anything to prevent it from cracking or breaking or whatever, but, obviously they know there's some kind of problem because the old one does not have this, and this one is thicker. The original one is like the size of that little, see the line in there? This one's a little thicker and stuff, and it even comes with the clamp, so it's kind of cool. But, yeah, so hopefully this Saturday I'll be doing a video on that, and then I have some other projects lined up that I'll be doing stuff on, doing videos and whatever. So, alright, well, I'll quit rambling now and end this video and go out there and hook up a tack on whatever you're driving. Every car needs a tach, that's what I say. Alright, later guys.